Good afternoon. I wanted to share a small story before we get started. This is a great day, and we had the similar function last year, the same KK experience last year. And what really motivated me to join Kore was the panels that I did last year. This whole experience of talking to customers, sharing their experience, and getting to know how they are utilizing the power of the platform to make life better for their employees and customers was so motivating that I made a change in my career and joined Kore. So I just wanted to give that little quick about it. So today, again, I'm really privileged to have this forum where I have this distinguished panel with me. We have Debbie here. Debbie is the CTO for, Deb Lindway. Deb is the CTO for PNC, and she's also our board member. And she works with us, every quarter we meet, and she's a great supporter of Kore. And we have Wiley Oliver. Wiley is the VP AI and Automation Lead at NTT Data. NTT is a great partner of ours, and Wiley has been working with us for about 2 years now?
2 years now.
Yeah. And we have Vic Kapoor. Vic Kapoor is the head of generative AI and platforms and products at Pfizer, right? So we're going to talk today about the AI innovations to drive employee experience. Why don't I start with you, Vic? Why don't you give us a quick introduction to what you're doing at Pfizer in your role?
Sure. So everyone hopefully is vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine. You're welcome. Bye. So I've been with Pfizer for about 24 years now, always on the technology side, mostly in the data analytics area. But since 2016 or so, I was one of the founding members to start up our AI Center of Excellence. And I currently lead our NLP and Generative AI Center of Excellence. So we build enterprise-grade products and platforms focused on applying AI automation across the enterprise.
Great. Oliver?
And I'm Wiley Oliver with NTT, and I'm really responsible for how we automate and enable AI and automation across all of our clients. So do a lot of integration of how we build core, components and platforms, and then how do we get that architected into our client's environment in more of a multi-tenant, simplistic fashion. So we can try to simplify what's doing that, as well as all other types of Gen AI and automation.
Awesome. Deb?
Yeah, I am from PNC Financial Services, headquartered in Pittsburgh. And one of the functions that I have, and probably the one I most enjoy with all the challenges and opportunities we have, is our Intelligent Automation Center of Excellence that covers all the different domains of automation, from basic RPA to Doc AI, conversational AI, models, as well as generative AI, which is getting a lot of attention right now with some of the use cases that we have. So have been working with Kore for probably, it's like 3 years now.
Yeah.
I think after we finished our last merger is when I started. Had some great experiences both on the conversational AI side, as well as now some exciting opportunities with our use cases for Gen AI, which in banking, in particular, there's a lot of attention, but yet also, understanding how you moderate the risk appetite, with our regulators and our board. And so it's been a very interesting journey, especially over the last 12 months.
So why don't I start with you? And how did you start this entire, experience with conversational AI? And can you tell us how this has kind of evolved over time? AI, maybe in general, conversational AI, and the overall journey to date.
Yeah, thank you. So we've been, again, working with Kore even predates me as far as selecting Kore.ai as our enterprise standard for everything conversational AI. And then I think when things really started to accelerate was we did a pretty significant merger acquisition in 2021. And out of that, there are often challenges and issues you have to fix. And our team was able to come in and leverage AI to demonstrate more of the power of it. So culturally, we got some key attention of key leaders, and DK, you've met some of them, who now run our retail bank. And so the momentum and the support at that level, I think, was key. And then we were able to start building out, well, what are some additional use cases, especially in our call centers? Very common use case across all of us, and really understanding, where do we start looking for some, quick wins, where especially after that particular merger in 2022, I guess this was, we had a lot of inefficiencies that we really needed to acknowledge and address. So that's where we really started on the agent, the employee side. We've gone fairly slow as far as thinking about showing, working with our customers directly, but it's really to enable the agents. And then we've moved on to really exciting work around Search Assist and understanding, again, there are many use cases, but we're really trying to focus initially on the big ROI value with our retail bank and also our treasury business on, again, enabling from a Search Assist standpoint. I think we're looking at, this well too, 11,000 documents we've uploaded that, we want to be able to leverage with our agents and other frontline staff to, work through all the little nuances that, you come across when you start doing that. But that's kind of been our journey, and just really excited about the path ahead and the great support from you and the core team.
Thank you very much. No, it's been really good to work with your highly talented team that is pushing the envelope on those documents and connectors and how that helps the internal employees. And I must compliment you, your business manager is extremely personally involved in seeing this to life. So
absolutely.
It's a lot of responsibility to get that
Yes.
to come to life properly. I'm looking forward to doing a lot of stuff with you. So thank you. And shifting a little bit to you, Vic, in Pfizer, you've been with us also for a couple of years now, right? So can you describe your experience?
Yeah, so I think our experience with conversational AI probably began somewhere around 2016, 2017, when we started to explore the various capabilities around AI. And the first use case I can remember is an agent called Connie. So I apologize if anyone's Connie out here. But Connie started off as an assistant for us, just a way to try out conversational AI. And the idea was that we have a lot of colleagues who travel between sites at Pfizer. And many times they had difficulties finding conference rooms when they were at different sites. And so we thought that this would be a great use case to try out for conversational AI. And so we built a conversational AI solution called Connie and equipped colleagues on their phones where if they're traveling to different sites, they can just interact with Connie and say, hey, Connie, I need a conference room immediately. And Connie is able to interact with our conference room reservation system and identify the conference rooms that are available and then book something for them or cancel something or et cetera. So that's how the journey started. We built this completely on an open source platform that we built from scratch using Python and other technologies. And it kind of took off from there. And the next thing we knew, everybody wanted a conversational AI, some sort of an engagement, whether it was to answer frequently asked questions, to equipping our scientists to find information, to our field reps in determining kind of what their next action needs to be before they visit the next physician. And so we needed a scalable solution and a platform, and that's where we started to interact with Kore. So this was, I think, we've been using Kore as our enterprise conversational AI platform since 2018, I believe. Since then, I mean, the journey has just continued. We have, I think, over 60 different conversational AI solutions deployed across the enterprise, across the gamut. So from research, development, medical, commercial, manufacturing, and across different markets across the globe in different languages. They're assisting in our call centers. They're assisting with our field reps. They're assisting with our scientists. So it's been a great journey, and I think with the introduction of Gen AI now, I think these agents are just going to get more and more intelligent because we're going to be able to integrate them with more and more of our knowledge that we have across the enterprise.
Awesome. And I can only imagine how much more we'll do once we get you maybe in a cloud version, and maybe we'll do it with a lot of Gen AI. So really, really inspiring. So while we have been in partnership for a long time, and we have a strategic partnership with NTT, and it's been amazing how you have plans to roll it out to about 70 customers of yours or so, right?
Yes.
And so tell us a little bit about how this project is conceptualized. We have had some amazing successes during the way and language, multilingual support, and I think it's an amazing story in terms of the potential of what can be done. So,
So our journey started a little different. You know, we were playing around with a lot of different chat bots and self-help and doing everything, and we were starting to venture into the conversational side of it, really, and we didn't want to end up building a platform. And we started, and believe me, we had a few failed POCs that we were kind of playing with and going, but it just wasn't the direction we really wanted to go in the end. And then we started looking at different options out on the market, and of course came across Kore, and it was definitely, you know, closer to what we were looking to do, because right behind us just doing some of the basics that we were already doing, we really wanted to figure out how do we get all this agent assist that we weren't using today. We were literally taking calls blind and asking the user who they are, where, you know, what do you need? And so we knew we needed to take a leap forward there. And so the agent assist component, the ability then to start, you know, doing intelligent automation around that, and use cases and all the things. So we decided this was the right, you know, platform for us. So, you know, we would look back, and we had these 70 strategic accounts that you were kind of mentioning that are enterprise accounts where we're doing technical service desk. We said, hey, great way to introduce this in, and let's go get some quick wins. And so we looked at what it was, said, hey, while we're rolling out Agent Assist, let's go ahead and pick these 5 top call drivers and see if we can contain those calls. And we'll probably talk about it later in here, but you know, one of those use cases was a little bit too complicated for where we were at that point in the program, but we went on with some of the others, start driving quick value that just made sense, and it took off. And our agents, you know, being able to know who those users were, you know, it made a big difference in there. And you know, that capability's been around for a while, and in other, you know, call center platforms and different things, but the way we integrated it, and it's all kind of integrated seamlessly, made it the right choice for us. So we took off after these 70 account, across all these accounts, you know, there's like at least 21 primary languages that just go across those 70, but there's, if you really look at it, I mean, secondary accounts, but we may only get maybe, you know, 5 calls or 10 calls a week. That goes up to, you know, probably 100-something languages on there. So, but it was great, and we started looking at, well, wow, can we do translation to translation back and forth? So you guys end up building and changing your product to go do this for us. So it's been a really good experience from that. And so we got this kind of started rolling out, and then immediately, you know, all these new use cases come flooding in of what's next, where they need to go. And so where we're at kind of currently, and this is, we're at account, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like account 9 of the 70. And now we're getting ready to change our platform to start rolling out at scale. We did those individually, account to account to account. Now we're going to start grouping them and do, you know, bulk rollout of this platform. On top of that, we roll call summary out now. And while we're integrating into all the client environments, this is a great innovation partnership component that we had with this. Is I was like, well, the program, it's great, we've been going account by account, but I need to get to these strategic accounts, because, you know, across all these strategic accounts, we're taking over, I think, something around 360,000 calls a day that are coming in. And so I got to move faster. How can I get value faster out? Well, we quickly figured out, hey, we can take this, we can take call summary and get it to every account without rolling the whole program out and integrating into all the environments and do everything. We can just make that real time, pop it in the Cisco Finesse app, and the agent can just grab it, copy it, paste it right into your ITSM ticket system, you know, whether it's ServiceNow, Jira, or whatever you're using. And we can get value today quickly and lower AHT and things. So that challenge that I just said, hey, I need to do something faster and bring the thing, you guys just answered the call, came back and said, I mean, literally just like 3 days later, I think we can do this.
Yes.
We need to do a quick point release change in the product, but we can do this.
Yes.
And it was done less than 30 days. We were rolling it out to all of our accounts, even though they don't have the full agent assist, they don't have the full use cases that I'm rolling out in the program. But I brought value in and lowered the call. And if you think of that call wrap-up time, whether it's they're documenting as they're going an agent or they do it all at the end, you know, everybody's going, oh, we may get 30 seconds. Well, on the accounts when they first started consuming, we came back, and next thing you know, we saw AHT impacted. If you took call wrap-up full AHT time, it was like a minute, 30, 40 seconds. And everybody was like, what? No, none of our service desk people, they were like, oh, we were able to get 15, 30 seconds, but we watched it go down quick just by rolling that out.
So I just want to kind of acknowledge something that was done by our team, and I think, I'm not sure whether RV is there here or not, but what Vali just mentioned is something which reaffirms to me again and again that while at Kore we are big enough to deliver, we are small enough to care. So I think this part of what you mentioned around speed of responsiveness of something like this, it was amazing.
It was.
The conversation literally happened, I think, in the language translation. The conversation happened, I think, in late November or December, sometime around that, where there was interest in getting the real-time translation. And I know Raj had RV on the call, and like he said, describe the call flow, and like, can we not like, you know, tap at this point in time and do the translation? And you know, he said, yeah, I thought about it a little bit. Yeah, I think I can make it work. And like, you know, give me like, you know, 40 days. And Raj said, do it in 25 days. And like, and it kind of happened, I think, in 20 days. So kudos to the team for having done. I really want to congratulate the team for having done that so fast.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Could not agree more.
So as you look at from here, right, what are some of the use cases, Deb, that come to mind as highest value? And as you think of future, like you saw Gen AI, you saw all the great stuff that now the technology has come, and you know, what do you see as like
The highest value.
The highest value.
It's interesting you refer to it that way, because that's been our kind of mantra also from a governance perspective, because it's kind of balancing the use cases that people want to bring forward, because obviously Gen AI, you know, everybody is hearing about Gen AI and seeing it in their personal lives. So everybody wanted to maybe bring their own version of some shiny new tool forward and potential use cases. So we really had to quickly figure out, how do we manage that pipeline so we don't completely stifle that creative energy? How do, in some cases, do we rechannel it where we really need them to focus? And then where would we get to those critical few, we would come kind of high value, low risk use cases? Again, operating in a risk environment. So that's kind of what we put together to look at and you know, be able to size a business case value. So our retail bank, because of the scale and some other things they're working through, you know, bubbled up to the top. You know, we're also talking to our wealth business, our treasury business, because once you get that search assist type use case, you know, you figure out all the things within our unique environment to make it work and work through all the challenges or defects. And that just naturally takes time with anything. That's the one that brings the most return to us, both from a productivity perspective, but also on the customer side, reduces the wait times, the call times. So that's where we've really focused on sort of those multi-million-dollar, you know, type use cases. And then, you know, we've also been really clear, these are our standards. These are the solutions we're going to deploy. We can have other, you know, forums to talk about other things that may be coming, but how do we really stay focused on Search Assist? I know we've talked about other things of Agent Assist, but for us right now, it's, you know, the ones we've all seen them around code generation and knowledge Search Assist are probably where we're really focusing our biggest bets right now.
Actually, the use case completely resonates with what we've been seeing. So one of the clients that we have just recently implemented at a call center is a large airline. And I think literally within a week of implementing, they were reporting reduction in call handle times of like 30 to 45 seconds, which is incredible because, for high volume, that translates into, a significant amount of benefit.
It is very significant, and I think as we even talked before we came out here, it benefits both, I think, your newer tenured agents as they're ramping up that, pretty steep learning curve, but don't underestimate the value of what it brings to more of your mid-range and more senior tenured, agents in terms of what it can enable them to do as well in their roles to improve. So yeah, that's really been our focus.
Actually, on that point, you were just mentioning backstage the story about how you thought that it would be benefiting the people who are like not so experienced, but tell us the story.
So when we were rolling out this call summary feature, we were really thinking that we'll get that out, and so we're going to summarize the call so they don't have to write all the notes at the end of the call at the technical service desk. And I was like, okay. And everybody was like, yeah, it's really going to benefit, our more junior, newer agents. And a lot of at a lot of service desks, especially technical service desks, there's pretty high turnover rate, and you're constantly rotating agents through and constantly training. So we really thought we were going to see the biggest benefit there. And they're the ones, too, a lot of times, they have the one-liner summary, reset password, nothing else that happened in the call. And so everybody was looking, hey, I think we're going to get the value there. Well, after we started looking at some of the data, and I went to one of our big centers, and I was there visiting, and I was kind of watching and observing it, and then kind of left there, and I realized I got on a flight to fly back to the U.S., and I was like, what I just witnessed, it took me a little bit to kind of grasp it all, but the more tenured they were, the bigger the benefit was. Now, it was a little bit harder to get them to adopt and trust that this thing summarized what really happened in the call. Those agents are used to typing real time, speaking to the person. Here's what is happening during the call. This is what I did. Here's all my steps. It's all packaged up nice and neat. For them to let go of doing that and then focus in just on delivering what that user wanted instead of having to type and work through the whole call. And on those calls, they were, over a third, and some of those agents were cutting their calls in half. As soon as they let go and focused on delivering what that user called in for and did all this, they were very efficient, effective already. But when they didn't have to document every step of everything they was doing, and we changed call summary feature from just looking and doing the end call summary, but taking all the actions taken and listed after the summary. The agent asked for these 4 things, did these 3 things, and went down. And they let kind of go. And so the biggest thing was on the less tenured agent, it was good for them because you got quality and notes, better notes than they were doing. But they didn't move as quickly and efficiently through resolving the issue, but those experienced ones could. So that was it was eye-opening, awakeness for all of us, everybody in, the service desk leaders to us.
That's pretty inspiring.
Yeah.
Vic, how about you? Well, what are some of the use cases that you're looking to drive the most value as you sort of look at Gen AI and extending it onto the employee workplace?
Yeah, so within Pfizer, AI and Gen AI is driving a significant transformation across the enterprise. We're committed to saving over $1 billion in terms of operational efficiency by the end of 2025. And that's all going to be powered by AI. So I've been at Pfizer for a very long time, and this is probably the first time I'm seeing during my tenure where digital technology and AI is really driving the strategy around operational efficiency. In the past, it was all about, of course, cost savings and reductions in workforce, et cetera. But the AI and Gen AI is really bringing a unique transformation, and what we call is enabling the knowledge worker, right? So while there's, rumors out there and a lot of press around, AI taking over people's jobs, et cetera, I think our philosophy is very different. We want to enable and empower the knowledge workers. And if you think about it, right, the knowledge workers, what we mean by that is, everybody here is a knowledge worker, right? We search for information, we're always looking for information, we're generating new content, we're taking actions on that information, we're either transforming information, right, or content, or we're refining it, right? These are all perfect use cases for AI and Gen AI. So this is where we're looking at, all angles from a scientist, right? For example, equipping a scientist, somebody who's working in a lab with gloves on and a whole suit, and they're doing experiments. And you know what? They need to refer to an SOP because they're going to spend next couple of hours, after hours, working in the lab alone. And there's an SOP for that, and they're not sure what the protocol should be. Now, in that type of situation, it's a pretty inefficient process today. They have to take off all of their gear, go outside of the lab, check on the computer, open up their SOP, read it, and understand what the SOP is for staying after hours. A use case in that type of scenario where conversational AI, Gen AI really plays a key role is, okay, they could still be in their lab environment, and now through some sort of a voice or conversational experience, they can ask questions of their SOP and say, what's the protocol for me to stay after work, right, if I want to continue to work in the lab, right? That's an experience at the scientist level, right? A significant efficiency gain, safety boost, et cetera. Flip that to our sales reps, right, where they're engaging with physicians, and they need to know, hey, what should I be talking to them? What was the last time what did I speak to them about the last time? And what is the next thing I want to be talking to them about? Or what are their concerns? Today, they have to go into the CRM system and identify notes and read all of the history. This is where Gen AI is, again, going to play a key role for us because it's able to, through a conversational experience and Gen AI integration, can summarize all of that history for them and say, you know what, these are the 5 bullet points that this, HCP or physician might be interested in. This is what you want to tackle. Call centers, I think there's many examples of that. So, we're looking at it from all angles. As I mentioned, it's all about enabling the knowledge worker.
So look, this is so sweet music to our ears. We have a great platform. We have customers with desire. What I've scratched my head sometimes on is that what comes in the way to make these implementations happen fast? What are your thoughts on that? How do we do this together in a way that it kind of, boom, goes fast?
Yeah, for us, given that we're a life science organization, it's not the technology that slows us down. It's the policies, it's the regulations, it's the legal, it's the compliance aspects of our industry. And that might be unique. Every industry has their own, regulatory rationale. But when you're dealing with safety and lives of people, right, we have to scrutinize everything. For example, we can't have a chatbot or a virtual agent just provide medical information to a physician or a patient when they call in about our drug, right? Somebody has to verify it, right? If we get it wrong, even by one word or one sentence, that could mean a significant risk or safety concern for our patients and our physicians. And so we just can't take that chance. And so that sometimes, it's not the technology can't do it. We can build a solution very quickly on the platform. But from a regulatory compliance perspective, we can't really move that forward.
So yours is regulatory. How about you?
Well, I have some of those same challenges because I'm supporting across all the verticals, whether it's health plan, life science, provider, FSI, financial services and insurance, commercial industries, and travel, all these different ones. So I'm going to go across all these kind of verticals. So I have a lot of those same different rules depending on whether we're in banking or healthcare and different things that go. But what I'm going to say, what keeps me from going at scale today usually is it's one thing for me to get through my own internal CISO's processes and everything. I'm going through the client, and when we're starting to bring in even if we haven't 100% enabled generative AI, but just AI in general, there's a caution. Now, I'll say in the last 4 months, there's been a shift in the industry of now CIOs, CTOs, CISOs all knowing they need to jump on board and they need some quick wins with AI, whether it's Gen AI or just AI. Everybody's looking for, how do I get it enabled? I need to at least have one story to tell the street, the market, my board, that we've done this. So everybody wants to move forward, but we get really bogged down in that process of getting alignment of how we go into their environment, how do we go through their security protocols, maintaining our security protocols as a solution provider, a managed service provider in their space, and drive it. So that's the biggest challenge I have. But it's not a technology thing because it's all solvable. All of it but it's getting everybody communicating on the same page, understanding those risks, and then take that leap of faith into it. Now, the good thing is most of them are taking that leap of faith, but it's an extra rigor in there because they may not see the exact value today. They want the value, and they have something in their head that what that value is, but they're willing now to start to take that leap there because they know if I don't get it now, I'm setting myself up for where we're going to be because it's changing so fast. I'm thinking months. You see a dramatic difference. And 6 months from a year from now, I don't think we'll have those conversations anymore. It's going to be really value-driven. We know how to get it. Here's the use cases. And I think our clients are going to start giving us a load of use cases versus us coming up and presenting them. They're going to come out of the woodworks to us.
Looking forward to that day, Wiley. I know some of your challenges.
Right.
Why don't you
Yeah, I think definitely, some of the same risk, regulatory, board and our executive committee understanding it. I think it's a little bit different if it's more traditional conversational AI versus generative AI. I think Gen AI in our industry, and across the board, but there's still a lot of unknowns about it, right? How could this potentially be turned around and used against us and our customers, importantly? So there's more of an education and a caution there. Now I think we're making the right progress for the specific use cases that we talked about. So I think that's part of it, and trying to separate where do we really need it and have to go through all those extra, approval cycles and conversations versus where can we leverage more traditional AI. The other thing, honestly, we've got a lot of active, significant platform conversion transformation work from the tech side. So it's just competing priorities and making sure we're slotted in and ready to go with the right resources in terms of being able to move faster. So.
Well, thank you very much. We are at the end of our session today. Thank you for your candid comments. It's been a pleasure working with all of you, and look forward to continuing our successful partnership. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.